And if you don't like lasagna, you're a monster. All right. Moving on to something I know Jimbo is really excited to talk about. Bostic Logic's comic accurate Gore the God Butcher image compared to Bale's. Let's bring this image up. Now, the only reason why I'm really bringing this up, because I'm not a big fan of really comparing, comic accurate stuff with the movie stuff. I understand why they changed things. But we're about to jump into the Thor trailer breakdown, so this is a good segue into that. Boss Logic came out with this image of what they thought Gore the God Butcher. If you take the comic accuracy and then add a little bit of creativeness to it, your own creative justice, and turn it into a quote unquote live action sort of thing, even though it's would have been a fully CGI character. We seem to have this fuzzy line of what's real and what's not when we say live action. And this is what
I was gonna say. I don't know if he'd be CGI. Probably be
that. You don't know if that would be CGI?
Makeup, probably. Honestly, if you're gonna get Christian Bale, probably do makeup.
Why?
Because I don't know.
Hey, obviously they're doing just makeup for the movie, but if they were to put if they were going to completely just do a comic accurate rendition of the character, I don't what's it matter who the actor is? I mean, if in that sort of light, then Thanos should have just been, what's his name in makeup, you know what I mean? Like what I don't understand that logic there. Christian Bale's a wonderful actor, but if you can't turn him into a CGI character, I don't know if it doesn't. Anyway, obviously they didn't go that route, but when it comes to comparison of the comic book versus the movie, what's your opinion, Seth, on them changing a character, changing their look almost completely, like they did here with Christian Bale, and turning him more into a human figure? What are you okay with this, or would you have rather have seen more of a iteration of the comic book accurate Gore?
I mean, there's certain things that I wish they didn't change. I wish he had the black robes instead of the white. I think that would have looked cool. But
he had the white robes. I've seen images. Most of the images I've seen of Gore, he had a white robe.
I've seen them before. He has a black robe sometimes, though.
Well, there is something in the trailer, and I can't wait till we get to it, because it might be a tease of this symbiote actually showing up.
Maybe.
There's a little shot that there could be a symbiote scene, because Gore, by the comic book standards, is a symbiote, right? Is that correct, Seth?
He has a symbiote sword.
Okay, well, but there's also an iteration of him that he's also has some symbiote lore as well. Like he absorbs some sort of power from a symbiote or something like this.
He's involved with the symbiotes,
right.
the symbiote god
right.
is where he gets the sword from, but he himself is not a symbiote.
Jimbo says they could do it with prosthetics. Gore has a very Voldemort type of face.
Thank you.
Not that one in particular, but that face. Exactly. Yeah, I get what you mean. Listen, I'm not saying they couldn't. I'm just saying choosing not to because of a certain actor playing the character seems silly to me. That's the only thing I brought up.
I think you missed my point. My point was just they wouldn't need to CGI this.
Right. What you said they didn't need to CGI this because it's Christian Bale.
I didn't say. I didn't. I said I didn't think they would because it's Christian Bale.
Right. So that's where I kind of got stuck on. I don't think the actor playing the role should determine what they do, prosthetic or CGI or not. But in either way, they still went fully with this whole full human look. Seth, what do you think about the look that Christian Bale has? Do you think this, besides the robe change, do you think Christian Bale looks menacing? Do you think this is actually going to allow him? Obviously, it's going to allow him to show his actual facial features and do his actual acting, visually. So, I think it was personally, I think it was a good choice, but I'm also not really into comic book lore of it all. So I'm not that invested into the original Gore look.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Oh, he looks fine, I guess.
Yeah, he looks fun. You ready to talk about the trailer?
Yeah.
All right, let's bring up the trailer here. All right, Seth, do you mind cutting that music for us? All right, we are going to, as if you guys know, what I meant by FaceTime earlier is I think the reason they went this route was just speculating Bale's contract and a want for FaceTime on screen. Oh, okay, I see what you mean, Jimbo. Okay, before we bring this up, I do know what you mean, Jimbo. They did the same thing with Will Smith.
Yeah.
And the genie concept, and like it had to look like, the genie had to look like Will Smith, and Will Smith also had to be a real person, for a certain percentage of the movie, which is why they did what they did. Well, and also the genie did kind of do his human figure for some of the cartoon as well, but nowhere near as much as they did with Will Smith. But to me, I think that sort of contractual thing is kind of bullshit. I really do. It's appeasing to the actor as opposed to the storyline. Like the story's supposed to say, "Hey, we want the genie in the story," but I don't know. There's a balance there. There's no. I don't make movies, so I don't know like the statistics of it. But to me, again, like I don't know why his name's escaping me. The guy that played Thanos.
Josh Brolin.
Thank you. Jeez Louise. I was trying to think of his name for like 10 minutes. Josh Brolin, like, what if he had that in his contract? And like it was this Josh Brolin as Thanos, like that would have not done well. That he would not have came across as the same character. You know what I mean? He wouldn't have been as menacing, so they used him as a CGI character. Now you can still see a little bit of Josh Brolin in there, but for the most part, you see Thanos, Thanos, that's Thanos. Jimbo continues, but as you can see from the trailer we're about to watch, his face looks very different every time we see him. Maybe we'll get there. Maybe I don't know. I'll just let you roll the tape. Roll that beautiful bean footage. All right, here we go. Seth, let me know if this is too loud or not loud enough.
That's good.
Yeah.
Popcorn now. Let me tell you the story of the space Viking, Thor Odinson. He was no ordinary man. He was a god. After saving planet Earth for the 500th time,
Of course.
Thor set off on a new journey. Well, he got in shape.
All right, so we're gonna get a lot of different Thor looks in this movie, and I don't know how quick or slow they're gonna pump through them. Obviously, here we're gonna get what I like to call Thorist Gump. I just totally made that up, by the way. Yeah, because he has a very Forrest Gump look here. But okay, so obviously we got thick Thor from the previous movie, so we're gonna see him, work through that, which makes a very interesting point of trucker Thor, as Jimbo says. Also, little side note, strongest Avenger is what his hat says. I just think that's really funny. Wait, hold on, is that written in marker?
It might be. I don't know. I can't tell.
Because that looks like there's an S at the end of Avenger, like the Avengers, like this is just like the Avengers hat that he wrote strongest on top of it. Huh. But this is what makes Taika Waititi breathing new life into this character a lot of fun, because Thor is becoming one of the most developed characters in the MCU right now. And I'm glad we don't just come into this movie and it's like, okay, well, he's back to his normal self. Let's get on with the fun antics of the Taika Waititi movie. No, he has to train. He has to do his part and do his stuff and get back to the Thor that we know and love.
Do you think Thor is going to die in this movie?
Do I what?
Do you think Thor is going to die in this movie?
No.
Do you know why I'm asking that?
No.
Listen to the beginning. Listen to Korg's dialogue again.
Him telling the story?
But listen to the words he uses specifically.
Kids, get the popcorn now. Let me tell you the story of the space Viking, Thor Odinson. He was no ordinary man. He was a god.
He was? Is that what you're talking about? The fact that he's using was?
He was a god.
Well, okay, I can kind of understand that question. That's a legit question. I mean, do I think he's going to die? No. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think Corey telling that story like that, that could be anything. That could really just be creating the mythology. Maybe Thor becomes a god somewhere else, or like goes and does some traveling across the universe. That's going to bring us in a whole new trilogy of Thor movies of him traveling multiple universes. Maybe he has his own multiverse adventure, and he kind of leaves Corey behind and just does his own thing, and maybe that's what Corey is talking about. Like, oh, my friend, he's out doing his space adventure, and now he's telling the mythological stories of, the space Viking that was.
Yeah.
Maybe. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yeah. I don't know, though. I mean, Gore the God Butcher?
Maybe. Jimbo says, I do, and he says, I had the same feeling, Seth. So maybe you might be onto something there, Seth. Real quick, Seth, can you add the banner of what we're doing right now? I forgot to add that banner. No, I didn't. Did I add that earlier?
Yeah.
I forgot it was there. Thank you so much.
Do you want me to keep it up?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I only take it down when there's 3 of us and it blocks off somebody's face.
Oh.
All right.
After saving planet Earth for the 500th time, Thor set off on a new journey. Well, he got in shape. He went from dad bod to god bod. And after all that...
All right. You ready for it? First of all, I love this little introduction. I'm a millionaire. There she is. Okay. 2 things I'm going to point out here. Number 1, continuity of the trailer. The reaction we get of Thor compared to what just the reaction when he had Mjolnir, however you say it, like, right?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Like right there, he sees his hammer for the first time since it got broken by, his sister and whatever. But the next shot, number 1, he looks completely, he's got a helmet on. So obviously there's something way more to the story. I just think the continuity of the trailer is a little goofy, but not just that.
He reclaimed his title as the one and only Thor. Oh, spoke too soon. Jane?
Jesus Christ.
That helmet is awful.
But why is it awful? See, like, I would like to believe that Taika Waititi, I would like to imagine that Taika, you know what, Seth? Yeah, do take that thing down. It's bugging me. I do think that Taika Waititi would not do something like this without there being a story-driven purpose behind it. And I think there might be like maybe something that happens with when they go visit Zeus and all that. Like, maybe he overpowers Zeus somehow and becomes even a bigger god, becomes like bigger than he was before as a god. And now he's almost in that Loki realm of just kind of basking into the god glory of things. And so when that happens, you get over dramatic with your god drab and all these things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking is happening here, is that maybe he's just a little too big-headed about his god role and what he just accomplished, and now he's like boasting and going around going, well, I am Thor, Odin's son, I am a god, I'm the god that took down Zeus or whatever. And yeah, that's my thought. But that line delivery, Jane, God, if you watch my trailer reaction when I first saw that, I had the same reaction that I do now. It sounded so comical and comical, not in like, oh, that's a funny bit. Like, that's a fucking cartoon. It's a Scooby-Doo line. Seth, do you feel the same with that line delivery?
Yeah, it's weird, and I just can't get over the helmet and how bad that looks.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that plays into the story later on. But I
hope it doesn't. I hope it's in the one scene and we never see it again.
Right. Yeah. But there's also another vocal comedic thing that happens later in this trailer that we'll get to. That's got me a little bit worried that maybe this movie might be a little goofier than we want it to be. But before we dive into that, Jimbo says, first teaser, heavy Guardians. This trailer, hardly any Guardians. I don't think they are going to be in it as much as the first teaser led on. Jimbo, I don't think the first teaser led them on that they're going to be in the movie very much. As a matter of fact,
they were in the teaser a lot, though.
Well, yeah, but like what I gathered from the teaser and this trailer put together is that they're going to be there at the beginning. They might be there for the first act of the movie, but there's going to be a point when Thor's like, hey, man, I got to do my own thing, and he's going to send them off and to their adventure that will lead into their third movie.
Yeah.
But I never thought they would be in the movie very long. I never had that feeling. I never thought that was going to be a thing. What that teaser, for me at least, I kind of got the idea that they're going to send him off, especially when he's saying goodbye, or it looks like he's saying goodbye, and he does that little bit with Chris Pratt where, oh, the ones you love, and he's kind of staring at him awkwardly. To me, I took that as him saying goodbye to the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I feel like that would be near the first act of the movie. It could be even sooner, it could be a little bit later, but I think it's going to be somewhere in that realm of the first act.
Yeah.
Okay, and her helmet's off, so obviously a lot happened between Mjolnir and then. She does fit though. They got her pumped up in this movie.
Yeah,
for sure. I think Natalie Portman is gonna be one of those characters, because if you notice, in the MCU, there's always been the girlfriend issue. You know what I mean? They did it with Pepper Potts. She wasn't around for a few movies, and then they kind of lightly brought her back in, and by the end game, she's showing up as her own version of Iron Man and all these things.
Yeah.
And then Doctor Strange 2 that just came out. Spoiler alert for Doctor Strange 2. His what's her name in that movie?
Christine.
Yeah, thank you. Christine. They kind of gave her a send off. We probably won't be seeing much of Christine anymore. But this movie, it seems like Natalie Portman could possibly make a huge impact in the MCU, or maybe, Seth, I just thought of this, or maybe she's the one that dies.
I mean, it happens in the comics, I think. So,
does it? Oh,
but what I'm wondering though is, I'm wondering if they're gonna reverse the role. That's what I'm thinking though. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
Derby Gaming says, "Who cares about Thor 4? Everyone, Top Gun Maverick is tomorrow. Yay!"
Who cares about Top Gun Maverick? Thor 4 trailers right now. Yay!
No, because we haven't seen Top Gun Maverick. What are we gonna talk about it? You know what I mean? I don't know. Top Gun's not on my wheelhouse, man. I just did my review for Top Gun, the first movie, and that's my first time ever seeing that movie. Derby Gaming, to be honest with you, it's just not in my wheelhouse personally. And that review will be out in the next few days, because I do plan on seeing Top Gun Maverick. But I only do this 3 days a week, so I wanted to give special attention to Thor, this trailer. But yeah, Maverick, I don't know, not my thing. I just watched the first movie, and a little spoiler to my review that's coming, I wasn't a huge fan of the first movie, but don't get me wrong, I'm still excited about the new movie coming, because it does look like it's going to be better. Everyone's saying it's a lot better than the first one, but I'll save what I have to say for my review when it comes out for the first Top Gun. But come on, Derby, get on board here, man. We're getting the Thor stuff down. Give us your thoughts. Do you not care about Thor at all? Do you not care about the Thor Love and Thunder? Do you think it's going to be a trash movie, or are you just that excited about Top Gun?
What's it been, 3, 4 years?
8 years, 7 months, and 6 days.
So, okay, it's kind of obvious there that the breakup was a little harder for Thor than it was for Jane. That was prevalent in Thor Ragnarok as well. She didn't dump me, I dumped her. It was a mutual dumping. He's obviously got some issues that he's dealing with there. Queen Amidala. What?
Amidala.
Who's Amidala? Who the fuck is that?
Star Wars.
Oh yeah. That was her name? Yes, Queen Amidala on steroids. That's right. Oh man, Derpy Gaming. I'm glad you're here for quality content. All right, moving forward with this trailer here, and I know that was Aaron White, but like I cannot. And Amidala, I would never have guessed that was from Star Wars.
Sensing feelings.
Okay, that was what I was talking about earlier. That other vocal comedic thing that happened.
Yeah.
You know that you take that, you know, with the Jane. I don't know. There might be a hint of this movie being a little goofier than we expect it to be.
I mean, what were you expecting though?
Well, I was expecting the same thing as Ragnarok. Ragnarok had a nice balance of goofy, but this is like almost just from listen. It's just a trailer. I can't tell what the movie's going to be exactly from the trailer, but it just seems like that's a little bit more slapsticky than what we got in Thor Ragnarok, or what I've recognized from Taika Waititi when it comes to, Jojo Rabbit and stuff like that. Again, a satire movie, but it didn't get that kind of like low hanging fruit of comedic stuff. And the fact that they do it twice in this trailer shows me that maybe there's a lot of that in this movie.
Probably.
So I don't know. It's just not something I expected Taika Waititi to be very funny and very intelligent comedy, but I'm not saying it's not going to be, but just those two vocal oddities in this trailer, it gives me a little something in the back of my head that says, maybe we went a little too far with the comedy with Thor. Jimbo says, just to be fair, it's two moments in the trailer. I think it's still going to be very much in the same tone as Ragnarok, just a little bit more love intertwined. Yeah, no, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. It is just a trailer, but I like to keep my ears open just in case.
Oh, you're right. The only one.
Yeah, here we go.
Gods care about.
Oh, see, I love that, and I love the fact that everywhere that Gore shows up, all saturation is lost.
Yeah.
It's all black and white. Like that just is a visually stunning way, just not number one to show the desolation and the demise and the permanent actions of what Gore does, but it's also going to make for a very, very interesting and like almost Sin City style third act, where we're going to get a lot of our characters in color and everything Gore is a black and white. Do you know what I mean by Sin City, Seth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ones who gods care about is themselves. So this is my vow. All gods will die.
See, I think Christian Bale is such a great choice. Okay. Seth, am I wrong in thinking that this is the Bifrost?
It might be like powered by that, but that's not what that is. But it might have something to do with it, because the Bifrost would just take them directly to wherever they're going, but that's not what this is.
No, I was wondering if maybe they can now open the Bifrost with this goat-led pirate spaceship that they have. You know what I mean?
It's called the Goat Boat, in case you're wondering. It has a name.
Not Goat Ship.
Nope. Goat Boat.
I just saw it and I just thought it resembled the Bifrost a little much.
That's definitely the intention. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I just want to say that was very, very impressive what you did back there.
He's just my first bad guy.
Damn, a whole planet with a sword. See, like that shot just previous to this. Like this is what I'm talking about. That black and white.
Yeah.
And the color that's gonna be such a beautiful fight scene, and we might get it multiple times in this movie. But yeah, I just think that's what a creative decision that they did there. That's one of my most anticipated parts of watching this movie.
I'm not like the other gods of kill.
Christian Bale, dude. This right here is why they're not going to CGI his face. like this dude's physical acting is just amazing, and I can't wait to see what impact he brings to this role.
Yeah.
I love it, and watching this, I'm actually kind of curious. Besides, like, just the light makeup, to enhance, the black and white. But did they just actually just desaturate Christian Bale? Is that what they did? They just like take down the desaturation.
They might have done that. Yeah, I don't know.
I think might be what they've done. I don't think they powdered him with makeup, at least not fully, to give this effect. Jimbo says it looks like he's taking a. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It does look like he. You know what? What is? You're not wrong, Jimbo. Oh, there was the Guardians. Wait, where were they?
I don't know.
What is?
Yeah, it's the planet they're on at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay. It just for a second there, it looked like Titan. It had the same color scheme as Titan. I was wondering if we were going to go back there, if there was going to be some time travel in this movie or not. So,
hope not.
No, we've done enough of that.
Not something worth fighting for.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
Let's see who you are.
Okay. Have you watched Ramon's reaction to this?
I have not.
Okay.
Sorry, Ramon.
Ramon is. This has got him all heated up. He considers this entire next section to be completely hypocritical of Marvel and all and everything like that. But we'll get to that.
I take off your disguise and flick.
When I watched Ramon's reaction, dude, Ramon went off on this huge tangent of, oh, cool. So it's okay to sexually, gawk at men nude, but like if the tables were turned and this was, Mighty Thor, Natalie Portman, and they did that, that would be that would just be a terrible thing. Women, you can't look at naked women in a Marvel movie. You can't, put them in that sexual light, and it's oppressing, and it's just. It's no good. We need to be better humans than that. But then it's okay to do it with a male character. Seth, what are your thoughts on that sort of outlook for what we're getting right here?
I don't know. I didn't even think of that. Like,
I mean, he does have a point. Ramon does have a point.
I'm just watching the Thor trailer, man. Like, I don't know.
He does have a point, though. Like, we're living in this quote unquote, words that we hate, woke world, where if this was a female character, this would be considered being objectively sexual, and not it would be very frowned upon, if that's what was happening here, especially the reactions of Lady Thor and Mighty Thor, and Valkyrie. The reactions to this are kind of like, hey, it's all right, let's just enjoy the show.
Yeah,
I personally think if they leave it blurred, that would be even funnier.
I'll say this. Now, this might sound weird because I'm not saying I want to see this uncensored, but I'm just saying it would look weird in the movie if it wasn't uncensored. Like if you're watching a movie just on the big screen, it's just censored. It's like, that's a weird choice.
Or what if Zeus censored it? What if this is Zeus censoring?
That would that would be kind of funny, actually.
There you go. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
in my mind, I figured they just did it for the trailer, but
like, what if Thor looks down and he's like, why am I all blurry? Like
that would make zero sense, but that would be kind of funny.
Does anything in this trailer make sense to you, Seth?
No, that's why I'm not fighting against it.
And also to be noted, some back tattoos here.
I saw the tattoo.
He's got some back tats. He's got a Loki tattoo.
Loki's helmet, and
Loki's helmet.
You know what it says above Loki's helmet?
What?
It says "Rip Loki" above the helmet. You can't really see it, but it's up there.
Dude, I can't wait for Loki to come back and Thor not believe that it's past Loki and think it was just another trick that Loki died. Like,
I guess, I mean, I saw somewhere saying that Taika Waititi wanted to do that bit in Ragnarok where it had Rip Loki, because Thor also thought Loki was dead then too.
Right.
So, but
Fair.
they wouldn't let him do it. But now he's actually the writer this time, so he just put it in the movie.
All right. Oh.
You see, okay, I don't find the joke itself very funny, but Chris Hemsworth's delivery on that line was what made me laugh.
That's his genius, dude. That's Chris Hemsworth's genius, is his comedic timing. As I said, if you go back and watch my review for Ghostbusters, the 2016 remake or reboot or whatever, I thought Chris Hemsworth was one of the best parts of that movie. Yeah, that's when I realized that, dude, this guy's actually really freaking funny. And him and Taika Waititi, them together is just like it's peanut butter and jelly, man.
Yeah.
Shall we help him? And eventually, great.
That was a cool shot at the end.
Let's bring that shot back up. That one?
Yeah.
That is a cool, very 80s. Very 80s. But this is 80s the movie, so I swear to God, I don't think they can do it now because it's too much like Thor. But I'll tell you what, Chris Hemsworth would have been a freaking awesome He-Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there it is. There's the Thor trailer breakdown. Guys, what are you thinking down there in the comment section? Okay. Jimbo says, oh yeah, we already got to that. I hope we get a it's cold in here joke. Oh yeah, low hanging fruit, but I bet they're going to do it. Maybe they might make a penis joke. They might make a penis joke. I don't know.
Isn't that whole joke that kind of joke? Like,
yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, so you flick too hard. It's cold in here. Yeah, I could see that. Like him, or maybe I could see it more in the light of like maybe if he just continually like making like just overly, over explaining, how chilly it is. Oh, it's cold in here. I was just in the pool. Like,
yeah,
I just got out of the pool. The whole shrinkage joke. Yeah,
seems like something Taika would do.
Yeah. Seth, what are your thoughts with the Thor trailer? Are you excited for this movie more so than you were before? Are you about where you were before? Did this trailer give you exactly what you expected, more or less? What?
It gave me exactly what I expected, and I am more excited for it. There's a couple things in it that I didn't like. We talked about all of them, but like, I don't know. I'm excited for it. Out of all the MCU stuff coming this year, it's probably the one I'm most excited for. So,
what other MCU stuff is coming out this year?
Movies, we have Thor and Black Panther. Those are the movies coming out this year. And then we have Miss Marvel, the show, which is in 2 weeks is when that premieres.
How do you feel about Miss Marvel? Are you excited to see about that at all?
I mean, I like the vibes of the trailer, but like, I don't understand the power change, because I know we've talked about it before. They changed her powers. But
I don't know the character, so I don't really care if they change her powers. I have no clue what her powers were before. To me, this is a new character, so
I just don't understand why. That's the only thing I'm thinking. It's like, well, why would you change the powers?
Well, maybe they'll explain it. Maybe they'll give you a good reason of like what the powers are exactly. I don't know. I don't know anything about the character, but
yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I think that's it, guys. I think it's for the most part what we have here. Let's jump into the comic section, see if we got anything. Jimbo says, I'm excited for it, but would have like a more accurate looking gore. But the FaceTime thing I talked about earlier, I think is why. If they did it with Brolin, they could do it with Bell. I agree. I will give you that, Jimbo. And that might go back to your comment earlier about maybe there was a contractual thing, but I don't know. I'm torn on that on that whole I'm torn on that whole concept, because to me Bale is worth that contractual agreement. Like, oh, but his face has to be in the movie.
Yeah.
but also at the same time, I'm like, but where's your intent of what you need with the character? Should you really sacrifice, what you want to do with the character just to get a certain actor in? But then also it's Christian Bale. The guy's a madman, and who the fuck knows Gore all that much? Besides, I don't know what Gore. I only know what Gore looks like because the audience has told me what Gore looks like. If the movie came out and I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would not know the difference at all. Yeah. So, but with that, also on that same note, even though I'm not a comic book reader, I knew what Thanos looked like before. I never knew his name was Thanos, but I knew what he looked like. My brother had comic books growing up. I knew that guy with the fucking nutsack chin. I always knew that character. He was embedded in my memory of something that was part of the comic book. So, maybe that has something to do with it too. They're like, it's Gore. Maybe we can save the few millions of dollars on CGI because not too many people will know what he looks like. So it's not really a big miss there. It's not going to be a huge uproar, just a small, more fandom uproar. And Jimbo also says, but Brolin was never Batman for 3 movies.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Man, that was, because Josh Brolin was the first pick actually to play Batman in
he was
the
one
Zack
of the
Snyder movies.
He was one of the front runners. Yeah.
And then Ben Affleck ended up taking the role. I believe there was like a timing issue. Like Brolin would have been the Batman.
I think so, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't know the specifics.
I'm not 100% certain either, but I believe I'm correct that he was actually like the main dude. He was going to be Batman, but then there was maybe his role with Thanos or something. It just didn't work out that he could actually do it and physically be there. But I'll tell you what, not too many times can I look at a casting and be like, this actor playing this role, I can't see any other actor in that role. I'm usually pretty stuck on the actor playing the character, but Brolin, I could totally see Brolin pulling off a very similar Ben Affleck style Batman for sure. Yeah. Zack Snyder had a very certain specific image in mind, and that makes a lot of sense. Jimbo, I would have loved to have seen Brolin or John Hamm as Batman.
I would have liked to see Josh Brolin as Batman. I think it would have been cool. I'm glad we got Ben Affleck, but if we didn't, Josh Brolin probably would have been my second pick.
I don't know much about John Hamm. What's John Hamm in?
He's in this one movie that I really like called Baby Driver, but I know he's in a lot of other stuff.
I'm gonna look him. I can't think of his face for some reason.
Mad Men. He's in Top Gun, the new one.
Oh, okay. I vaguely know this dude. Yeah, like I must have missed most of his movies.
Jeremy Renner's Tag. Remember that movie? Do you remember that movie? Tag.
Oh yeah, Tag. I really don't know much about John Hamm. I really don't. I've seen Tag. Yeah, I barely recognize this guy. Yeah, missed that one. Yeah, Mad Men. Never seen it. He's very talented, Bruce Wayne. Look, maybe if I got into the Mad Men, I would know more about John Hamm. But I've never seen Mad Men either. So yeah, missed the train on that one. Hey, so you can't see everything, right? But I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, we're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, except for this Friday. I have a musical gig, so I won't be here, but we're going to move it to Saturday night.